everybody. So today I'm here to give you my top 15 movies of 2019. I saw well over 150 films. If you're including the TV movies, I saw over 300 films, but this is just going to be including feature films that I saw in the theater. And so I'm really excited to tell you about each one of these. And it was a very difficult decision for me to decide what to put in, what to take out. And so let's get started. So at number 15, I have 1917. And this may seem really low for this movie because I really did have a strong reaction to seeing this. I was really upset because it was such a moving, gripping war movie. You really felt like you were there in the trenches with these two boys going over no man's land, all the different risks and struggles. And it was an exhausting movie. And the cinematography is incredible. Roger Deakins did a great job with that. I think it is the best cinematography of the whole year. And so I really did think it was a remarkable movie. It's at 15 just because it is one that I can't imagine wanting to watch that much. And it's just like not a favorite of mine. So the other ones in this list went a little higher, but I was really moved by this movie and it definitely had to make my list. So it's at number 15. Then number 14, I have The Peanut Butter Falcon. And I did get to interview the creators of this movie, the writers and directors, and that was really fun. But I saw the movie before I had that opportunity. And so it didn't have anything to do with that. But I just thought this movie was such a sweet, lovely movie about friendship between Shia LaBeouf's character and Zach's character and Dakota Johnson's character. She was a little bit less convincing to me than the other two, but still, I love the cinematography in this. I loved the road trip element. It was escapism in a different kind of way, in the way that movies don't sometimes do that much now. You really just felt like being with these characters, and the story was so sweet and lovely, and it just made you want to be a better person and help those around you, which I just love. So Peanut Butter Falcon at number 14. Then I have Rocket Man at number 13. I just was so impressed with this movie and how they were able to take a typical rock biopic, which we've seen a million times, and they were able to give some life to it with these incredible musical numbers that just really wowed me. They were so different. They were unexpected. They were really creative, and just great versions of these songs. I know that some people had some problems with the telling of the events and different things like that, but I was fine with all of that. I just got immersed in the artistic experience of watching this movie, and I really liked Taron Egerton's performance, and I just loved the musical numbers. I thought they were so captivating and different, and somebody trying to put some spirit behind a rock biopic that made me really happy. So I have it at number 13. Number 12, I have Little Women. This may seem kind of low for Little Women. I've only seen it once, and I'm definitely going to see it again coming up. But I thought that the nonlinear storytelling actually worked quite well, and usually I'm not a fan of that. But I thought it really helped you with the Amy and Laurie story, because you're getting their side of the story right up front. And so it feels like less of an afterthought. And I just loved pretty much all of the casting. I wasn't in love with the way they did Beth. I thought that could have been better. But I loved the way they did Meg. I thought Emma Watson was really good in that role. I loved all the costumes, the music. I love the story of Little Women. So it was an easy spot on my top 15 at number 12. Number 11, I have Always Be My Maybe. I love romantic comedies, and I thought this was such a great one. Such great chemistry between them. I really loved the ending where he talks to her in the red carpet line, and he just wants to be the person to hold her purse. I thought that was so great. I loved all the Keanu stuff. Was so funny. This was a romantic comedy that was actually funny, and so I just thought it was great, and it's at number 11. Number 10, I have Promare. This is a really amazing anime film that's also a really interesting story about this world where there's these people called the Burnish, and the Burnish are seen as the enemy, as evil, and they need to be done away with. People are taught to basically be like firefighters of the Burnish and destroy them. And then this one character gets to meet them up close, and he realizes, oh, maybe they're not as bad as I thought. And the way that the animation, this geometric style, and the way it flowed and moved with the music was so stunning. It was stunning and captivating. And I've never seen a movie like it. Maybe since Akira. This has just an incredible story too. So I was so impressed with this movie. It's really, really good if you can take something that's pretty different. So it had to make my list, number 10. Number 9, I have Frozen 2. I've only seen this once also, but I loved it. Love the songs. I like that all the characters got songs. Especially Kristoff's song. I've been singing it ever since. I loved Lost in the Woods. It was so funny. And I just really love this dynamic between the two sisters. And I loved the animation. And I liked the fact that the revelation about their family was very untidy. And they had to kind of deal with that, and I liked that. I thought that was interesting, and I just thought it was great. It was everything I wanted it to be. So there we go at number 9. And I liked Olaf. I have no problem with Olaf. So number 9. Number 8, I have Wild Rose. This was such a cool movie about this girl who wants to become a country western. Well, actually, she always says country, not country western. Country singer, but the problem is she lives in Glasgow, in Scotland. And I love Jessie Buckley in this role. I thought she was incredible. The music is so good. I've been singing Glasgow ever since I heard it. I hope it gets nominated for an Oscar. It deserves it. I loved Julie Walters as her mother and how she feels like this dream is just sapping the life out of her daughter. And it was instead of just being like this sort of difficult person who doesn't believe in her dreams, like she had a valid point. And her journey and the journey of a character I just thought was so good and so unique, beautifully filmed, beautifully acted. I just loved Wild Rose. Number 7, I have the documentary Maiden. I loved this movie at Sundance. I've loved it ever since. I've gotten to see it a couple times since. It's just such a great documentary about the first all-female sailing team in the race around the world. I could care less about sailing. I don't know anything about sailing, but they managed to make this such an engaging, entertaining movie that you're just with these women the whole way. And the thing that's cool is they aren't doing it to be the first women. They're doing it because they want to sail. And so that felt so much more authentic to me than sort of these feminist stunt pieces. They weren't trying to be feminist heroes. And I just thought that was great. And they did such a good job of combining the new footage with the old footage. They had so much old footage. It was incredible to me. And they had just so many interviews and old interviews, new interviews. I just loved this movie. It was great. Number 7. Number 6, I have Ford v Ferrari. When I saw this movie at the screening, they had some problem with the air conditioner. And it was so hot in that screening room. I mean, I was just sweating. My face was red. I felt like I was going to pass out. And I still loved this movie, which has got to say something. And I'm not like a huge racing person, but the racing sequences were amazing. But what really got me was the friendship between Matt Damon's character and Christian Bale's character. I thought that was so wonderful and how it evolved and changed. And I loved the lady who played Christian Bale's wife. I thought she did such a good job. And his relationship with his kid, that was really good. And so it's really a movie about friendship and family more than it is about racing, but the racing scenes were great, and I'm totally an underdog sports movie person, so I really enjoyed all of that. I really liked all the supporting cast was wonderful. It was just a really, really entertaining movie that had a ton of heart to it, and I just loved it. Number 5, I have Blinded by the Light. I also saw this first at Sundance, then I proceeded to see it a couple more times, tell everyone I knew about it. I'm not that big a Springsteen fan, so it's not because of that I like this movie. What I think this movie captures so well is the kind of the obsession that you get when you're a teenager and you first get introduced to something. You become this hardcore fan of whatever it is, and just the excitement that experience has, and how caught up in the experience that it gives you, and the confidence that it gives you, and I think we kind of lost that in this society sometimes, where fandom becomes this toxic, horrible thing, but it really also can be just this wonderful thing that inspires your whole life. And that's what I felt like with Blinded by the Light. And I just just loved the way they did all the musical sequences. I loved the romance. I loved the family. It just made me smile. I just adored the movie. So that's number 5. Number 4, I have Toy Story 4. And these next 4 are movies that really all of them have been number 1 at one point or another on my top list. So I love all 4 of these films so much. Toy Story 4, I just thought it was such a wonderful goodbye for Woody. I loved the whole idea that he was just in this cycle of play with the kids, and that's not really a happy kind of place to end, I think, Woody's journey. It was a good place to end Andy's journey, but now we have to end Woody's journey. And when it was told by Buzz it's okay, you can go, and it almost felt like he was entering the spirit world, kind of. I mean, just this freedom that he had just made me so happy, and I just loved it. And I thought that his final gift to Bonnie was basically kind of taking care of Forky, and I loved Forky, and Woody taking care of Forky was so great, him being this like parent kind of figure. I loved that. I loved the animation. I thought it was really funny, and it blew me away. I thought it was great. Number 3, I have Avengers Endgame. I just was totally blown away by this movie. I thought they ended it so well. I know that some will say there's fan service, but I loved all of that. I loved going back, seeing all these movies that I had loved, and along the way, I loved the heart to it. I loved Tony's journey. I loved Thor's journey. That was hilarious to me. And I thought the movie did such a great job of wrapping everything up and giving our characters the send-off that they deserved. I love Cap's ending. I thought that was great. He's going to be able to be with Peggy. And yeah, time travel is messy. I don't really care about that. That's fine with me. But I just thought it was very entertaining from step one. And I thought they did just an incredible job of wrapping every 22 movie journey up. I was very impressed by that. And so number 2, I have Parasite. I'd heard great things about Parasite, but I was kind of expecting, maybe this is going to be a bit overhyped, because I kind of felt that way about certain other movies like Hustlers, which was fine, but I didn't love it the way other people seem to be loving it. And so I was nervous about this, but we went to see it, and I just thought this movie was great. I loved all of the characters, the rich family, the poor family. I could see all of their perspectives. I thought they were so well done, so well acted. It was genuinely surprising. I did not know what was going to be happening from one scene to another scene. And it did the social commentary without being annoying about it, which I really appreciated after seeing movies like The Dead Don't Die, where it beats you over the head and they have to narrate it. It was way more subtle and interesting, and just little things like, why are these people, why do they smell different than the rich people? That was interesting. And I thought it was great. I loved it. It's number 2. Now, my favorite movie of the year, it probably won't be anybody else's favorite movie of the year, but I don't care. My favorite movie of the year is Klaus on Netflix, and I just absolutely loved the animation in this movie. I thought it was so beautiful. I loved the story, because I was expecting the Santa Claus character to be sort of like the character in Rise of the Guardians, which I love. But this was different. He was really wounded. He reminded me of the dad character in Song of the Sea, and he had isolated himself, and seeing him kind of grow and get over his grieving and his bond with the other characters, and I just loved seeing the way that the lighting changed as the characters began to read, become more confident, let go of these feuds, forgive each other. It had a really lovely message, beautiful animation, and I was dazzled by it. It was my favorite movie I saw all year. It's probably no big surprise. It's animated. It's Christmas. It's everything that I like. So there you go. That's my top 15 of 2019. Let me know if you've seen any of these films. What do you think of my list? I would love to hear your thoughts. And I know that I didn't see everything yet, but I'm pretty confident in my list. And so thanks so much. And please subscribe to my channel. Consider becoming a patron. Really appreciate it. And if you want to get one of these Smile-worthy shirts, check out the link in the description. So thanks again. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.